Every day in the workplace, employees make decisions, some small, some significant. Many of these choices feel routine, such as how tasks are prioritized, how coworkers are communicated with, or how customer concerns are handled. At times, however, a decision is not simply about efficiency or performance. Sometimes it is about ethics, doing what is right, fair, and honest, even when the correct choice is not easy. Ethical decision-making is a critical skill for employees at every level. It builds trust, protects the organization, and ensures that workplace actions align with shared values, laws, and professional standards. Ethical decision-making means choosing actions that are consistent with moral principles, company policies, and legal obligations, even when there is pressure to do otherwise. It often involves considering questions such as whether a decision is fair to everyone involved, whether it could be comfortably explained to coworkers, supervisors, or the public, and whether it aligns with organizational values. Ethical decisions are not always obvious. In fact, the most challenging ethical situations often exist in gray areas, where the right choice is not immediately clear. Organizations that prioritize ethical behavior experience stronger employee trust, better teamwork, and improved reputations. Employees feel safer speaking up, customers feel respected, and leaders are better equipped to manage risk. Unethical decisions, even when they appear minor, can lead to legal penalties, damaged morale, lost customers, and long-term reputational harm. Ethics are not only about avoiding wrongdoing, they are about building and maintaining a workplace culture rooted in integrity. Ethical dilemmas often arise during periods of pressure to meet deadlines, reach performance goals, protect relationships, or avoid conflict. The following examples illustrate common ethical challenges employees may encounter. Imagine an employee who works on a team responsible for preparing financial reports. While reviewing the numbers, the employee notices a small error that makes the department's performance appear better than it actually is. Their manager has not noticed the mistake, and correcting it may delay the report or raise questions. An unethical response would be to ignore the error and hope it goes unnoticed. An ethical response is to report the mistake, even if doing so causes inconvenience or discomfort. Ethical decision-making requires valuing accuracy and honesty over short-term appearances. Consider an employee involved in selecting a vendor for a new contract. One of the bidding companies is owned by a close friend or family member. Even if the employee believes the vendor is qualified, failing to disclose the relationship creates a conflict of interest and undermines trust in the decision-making process. The ethical decision is to disclose the relationship and remove oneself from the decision. Transparency protects both the employee and the organization. Respectful treatment is a fundamental ethical responsibility in the workplace. Every employee deserves to be treated with dignity, professionalism, and consideration. Imagine a workplace where certain employees are regularly talked over in meetings, dismissed when sharing ideas, or spoken to harshly during stressful situations. Even if no formal policy is violated, this behavior creates an unhealthy and unproductive environment. Disrespect can take many forms, including sarcasm, exclusion, inappropriate jokes, dismissive comments, or ignoring a coworker's contributions. Over time, these behaviors damage morale, weaken collaboration, and discourage employees from speaking up. Ethical decision-making requires choosing respectful communication, especially during disagreements or high-pressure situations. Consider an employee who contributes a key idea that helps a team solve a difficult problem or improve a process. During a meeting with leadership, another team member presents the solution, but fails to mention the employee who originally developed the idea. An unethical response would be to accept the recognition and allow others to assume the idea was solely their own. An ethical response is to acknowledge the colleague's contribution and give proper credit. Giving credit where it is due demonstrates honesty, respect, and integrity. It strengthens trust among coworkers, encourages collaboration, and reinforces a workplace culture where contributions are recognized fairly. Employees often have access to sensitive information, such as medical details, personnel records, customer data, or proprietary business information. Suppose an employee is casually asked by a coworker about another employee's medical leave or job performance. Even if the question seems harmless, sharing that information would be unethical and may be illegal. Ethical decision-making requires respecting privacy and sharing confidential information only with individuals who have a legitimate business need to know. Pressure to bend the rules does not always come from customers or sales targets. Sometimes it comes from time constraints or internal expectations. Imagine an employee responsible for completing a required safety inspection before equipment can be used. The inspection takes time, and production is already behind schedule. A coworker suggests skipping a few checklist items just this once so work can continue. Even if the equipment appears to be functioning properly, bypassing required safety steps puts employees at risk and violates company policy. If an accident were to occur, the consequences could include serious injuries, legal liability, and loss of trust. The ethical decision is to follow safety procedures exactly as required, even under pressure. Ethical decision-making means protecting people and following established rules rather than taking shortcuts to save time. When an ethical dilemma arises, reacting quickly or following the path of least resistance can lead to poor outcomes. A structured approach supports thoughtful and responsible decision-making. Number 1. What is the issue? First, the issue should be clearly identified. Understanding what decision must be made and why it feels uncomfortable is critical. Ethical concerns often create a sense of unease, which serves as an important warning sign. Number 2. Who is affected? Next, consideration should be given to who may be affected. This includes coworkers, customers, clients, the organization, and potentially individuals outside the workplace. Both short and long-term impacts should be evaluated. Number 3. What policies and laws apply? Relevant laws, company policies, and professional standards should then be reviewed. Many ethical questions already have guidance in codes of conduct, safety rules, or legal requirements. Number 4. What are the options? After that, available options should be evaluated. Each option's potential outcomes, positive and negative, should be considered, along with whether any option could cause harm, unfairness, or loss of trust. A useful test is whether the decision could be comfortably explained to supervisors, coworkers, or the public. Decisions that are difficult to justify often signal ethical concerns. Number 5. What is the right thing to do? Finally, the decision that best aligns with legality, policy, honesty, fairness, and accountability should be chosen. Ethical decision-making is not about convenience. It is about acting with integrity, even when courage is required. When uncertainty remains, seeking guidance from a supervisor, human resources, legal counsel, or a compliance officer is a responsible step that helps protect everyone involved. Ethical workplaces depend on employees who are willing to raise concerns when something does not feel right. Speaking up does not mean making accusations or creating conflict. It means reporting concerns respectfully and responsibly through appropriate channels. Most organizations have policies that protect employees from retaliation when concerns are raised in good faith. Ethical courage, speaking up despite discomfort, is a cornerstone of workplace integrity. Ethical decision-making is not limited to dramatic situations. It appears in everyday actions, such as giving credit where it is due, treating others with respect, following safety rules even when shortcuts are tempting, and being truthful in emails, reports, and conversations. When employees consistently act ethically, organizations are stronger, safer, and more successful. Ethical decision-making is not about perfection. It is about awareness, responsibility, and a commitment to doing what is right, even when no one is watching. By making thoughtful, ethical choices each day, employees help build trust, strengthen workplace culture, and contribute to a respectful and successful organization. Ethics are not just rules to follow. They are values to live by.